Jeff Beck, game designer and long arm of the law.
And I'm Nicole Beck, brave but reckless driver on the run.
We're here to show you how to play Getaway Driver. Getaway Driver is a two-player game, with one player taking the role of the police,
And the other player taking the role of the driver.
Each role is completely different, with different abilities and victory conditions.
The driver starts the game with a litany of tricks and stunts, but slowly burns through them throughout the game.
The police, on the other hand, start with just one lonely patrol car, but slowly build up until they have an army of armored cars and police helicopters!
The driver wins the game if she can get out of town, represented by the final city tile being placed on the top table.
And the police win if they can catch the driver before she escapes, represented by advancing the pursuit meter to its final space. Setting up the game is easy. First, select the role you want to play and take your playing pieces.
The driver starts with 7 driver cards, the pursuit meter, and the driver vehicle.
The police start with 6 upgrade cards, 6 police vehicles, and 3 barricades. All their components are placed to the side.
Stash cubes represent supplies the driver has hidden around the city to help her escape. The driver drops 6 stash cubes onto the playing area.
And the police adjust the stash cubes, making sure none are too close and none are too far.
The driver places her car along with the starting city tile anywhere on the board.
The remainder of the city tiles are placed in the bag. The police then place their patrol car 2 spaces away from the driver.
And we're ready to begin. Each round of Getaway Driver consists of 3 phases. The police place new tiles, the driver makes their move, and the police make their move.
To place city tiles, the police draw the number of tiles necessary to give the driver a left, straight, and right option.
On the first round of the game, the police will draw all 3 tiles. But on subsequent rounds, the police may end up drawing 2 or less tiles, depending what's already on the table.
There are several different city tiles that you encounter throughout the game. Green light city tiles are nice, quiet, safe, rural areas of the city. No hazards are encountered on green light city tiles.
Yellow city light tiles represent more urban areas of the city with a potential for hazards, but only if the driver decides to drive recklessly.
And the red light city tiles represent the busiest sections of the city. No matter how carefully she travels, the driver will have to deal with a hazard on red light tiles.
Hazards can be both good and bad for the driver. They're a great way to slow the police down, but the driver can only get through so many hazards before she runs out of stops.
The police are keeping close tabs on certain parts of the city. City tiles with a police badge on them, regardless of the color, help the police ramp up their presence in the city.
Tiles are drawn in secret and placed face down on the table. The driver's reckless speeding keeps her from knowing what kind of hazards she's careening into.
When placing city tiles, police need to determine which tile will give them the best advantage and then deduce which direction the driver will head.
And the driver needs to weigh the pros and cons of traveling in a predictable versus a haphazard manner.
Okay, so I've drawn 3 city tiles. And place them face down. It's over to you.
Hidden city tiles give the driver a lot to worry about.
The driver must predict which tile the police thought she was going to, and then decide if the negative consequences are worth the benefit of moving on to that tile.
In this case, the police knew that there was a big benefit for me to move forward and pick up that stash cube. There's also an advantage to turning right since I move away from the police car. So I'm gonna do the one thing the police never thought I would do and drive straight toward them.
What? Moving a vehicle, whether for the driver or the police, consists of first turning and then moving forward. Orientation makes a big difference in Getaway Driver, so it's important to remember that you cannot turn after moving.
As expected, I've outsmarted the police and ended up moving onto a tile that provides them no benefit.
True, but you cannot escape the long arm of the law. Now it's my turn. I'll move my police car on the same tile as you.
When the police end their turn on the same tile as the driver must advance the pursuit meter 1 space.
the meter gets to the last space, the police win.
Each turn that the police are not on the same tile as the driver decreases the pursuit meter one space.
But we won't let that happen.
Oh, we'll see.
After the police have completed their turn, play proceeds back to place new tiles. I'm drawing 3 new city tiles from the bag.
Alright, this is a great example of orientation. I'm going to turn right and head in the opposite direction as the police. Since they can't turn 180 degrees, I'm going to be safe. It's a yellow light tile, a construction zone. As the police can't follow me, I'm going to drive carefully through the obstruction and not place a hazard.
Last, you got away, but I do gain 2 enforcement cubes, so it's not a complete loss.
Since the police are no longer on the same tile as me, I decrease the pursuit meter down 1 space. The heat is off.
For now. In this round, the driver already has a right turn city tile, so I'll draw and place 2 tiles from the bag.
Clearly the police know that I want to turn right and pick up that stash. In this case, I think it's worth the risk.
A one-way street tile. With police presence, more enforcement cubes for me.
The driver starts the game with 7 driver cards. Each time a card is used, it goes back to the discard pile. The only way to get a card back from the discard pile is to spend a stash cube, so they're pretty important.
Before my turn ends, I'm going to spend some of my enforcement cubes. Enforcement cubes can be spent to purchase 1 new police upgrade each round. I think it's time to dial up the heat and bring out another patrol car into the mix. Now I've got you surrounded.
Bring it on.
It's time for the next round. There's already a city tile to the right of the driver, so I'll draw and place 2 new tiles.
In this case, any direction I pick will result in the police being right on top of me. Heading left or straight will at least result in 2 city tiles being drawn next turn, which helps the driver get closer to victory. So I'll do a head fake and turn right again.
That's just fine with me. I'll keep this police car in the game, and this police car is going to come for a little visit. And just to make sure you don't pull any more funny business, I'm going to spend 2 more enforcement cubes to place another patrol car.
With the police car on the same tile, I have to advance the pursuit meter 1 space. And thanks to that 3rd police car, I can't just make a turn in a direction that the police can't follow like before.
Looks like I've got you.
Not so fast, Roger. I've got plenty of options. Give me a tile.
Okay, a new tile's on the table. What are you going to do?
Well, this is where my driver cards come into play. I've got abilities like hit the gas that will help me escape, but I can also use the city to my advantage and keep the police off me permanently.
If a hazard token is placed while one of my police cars is tailing the driver, that police car will crash and is removed from the game.
Let's give that a go. I'll hold on to my driver cards for now and head straight.
Looks like a moving van is blocking the road. As this is a red light city tile, a hazard token will be placed whether the driver wants it or not.
Thankfully, I was hoping for a hazard token anyhow. Hazard tokens are not a problem for the driver. I've got all the stunts I need to get around any problem.
Now, the driver can't just pull any stunt to get through a hazard. You need the right tool for the job. Notice the icon in the top left corner of the city tile. Those icons indicate the stunt the driver can perform in order to get around the hazard.
To get around the moving van, I'll need to use either an improvised ramp or drive into oncoming traffic. So I'm going to spend an improvised ramp, which is discarded, and fly right over the moving van.
Unfortunately for the police, we don't have the same daredevil skills as the driver. Any police car that was on the same city tile as the driver before the hazard was placed drives right into the obstruction and crashes.
Even better, once a hazard token is placed, the road is permanently blocked off for the police.
Not only is my first car in the dumpster, but now my newly placed car can't even follow you.
Which means I'm back in the clear. I had to discard a driver card, but that's why I picked up that stash cube. I can get it back at any time. The game continues until either we run out of city tiles and the driver gets away,
or the pursuit meter maxes out and the driver is caught.
Throughout the rest of the game, I'll be slowly burning through my driver cards, but pulling amazing stunts like driving on 2 wheels, pulling a handbrake turn.
But I'll slowly be building up my police force until I have an entire armada chasing the driver down.
And there's plenty more to discover.
Like how I can corner you at the edge of the playing area.
And like how I can rev up to ramming speed.
We invite you to review the rulebook linked below to see just what it takes to be
the getaway driver.